Difficult conversations. We all have to have them, whether they're with a family member, a coworker, a friend. It can be hard to find just the right approach when starting those conversations, which is why we've invited culture and etiquette expert Sharon Schweitzer here, joining us today to help us kind of walk through those awkward and sometimes uncomfortable talks. She is taking your questions as well. You can text them right now to the number on your screen, 336-379-5775. All right, before we think about having this conversation, this kind of tough talk that maybe we need to have with someone, what kinds of things should we be considering before we even open our mouths?
Several things, Tanya. One of the first things people need to realize is they need to do some self-reflection. So what are the purposes of the conversation? What is it that you hope to accomplish? Are you trying to reach some common ground? Do you need a solution to a challenge? The other thing you want to do is think about, are you making assumptions about the other person, their intentions? Many times actions do not equal intent and they can be very different. A third thing to consider is, do you have any personal hot buttons or triggers that might occur or surface during this conversation? And if so, be prepared for those and acknowledge those. The other thing that I really encourage people to do, and I do this, is I will visualize a positive outcome to the conversation. Many people think, oh no, I've got to go have this horrible conversation, and they dread it. And then, of course, the conversation goes poorly. So you want to go in with a good, positive mind frame. So those are four things. If you want to explore more, I'm happy to.
Okay, no, well, those are really good. And I really like the whole thing of visualizing that it is going to go well, because usually when you know you have to have a tough conversation with someone, already you're kind of just dreading it. So visualizing that it's going to go well makes it a much more positive thing. All right, with that said, what is the best way to approach that difficult conversation? Get that person ready to have that conversation with you.
Okay, so one of the things that you can do that really is helpful is you want to stop and you want to think about exactly what it is that you want to accomplish. So listen to them, listen to the other person. You want to inquire, ask them, will you share your thoughts? What is your view on this? What do you think happened? Um, I'd like to hear your perspective. So, and then listen. Once you do that, then really the key thing is number two, after you inquire, is active listening. So acknowledge, demonstrate that you've really listened well. So say, all right, what I hear you saying is you're upset because you feel like our teenagers aren't listening to us. We really need to get them to come in at a certain time and not be on their devices so much. So here are the solutions you've suggested. So acknowledge. The other thing then you can do is advocate. You may want to advocate your position. You feel like certain family events you could do more frequently, maybe get them off their phones or their little PDAs, get them out doing some activities, but move into that brainstorm advocating position. And then finally is the problem solving.
Okay. So these awkward conversations, they come up in all kinds of, relationships, maybe your love life. What do you need to keep in mind when you're talking with your partner specifically?
Okay. The thing that this is so important. The thing that I encourage people to do is when you're going to have a conversation with your partner, give them the heads up, let them know, hey, it would probably be a good idea for us to chit chat about this. When do you have time, or when would be a good time? A successful outcomes hinge on your emotional state. So make sure that you're in a good place, you're in a positive frame of mind, you're not irritated, you just didn't get out of traffic and you're, agitated. What you want to do is make sure you're in a good place. Avoid taking verbal attacks personally. Many times when you're arguing with family members or close friends, you might lash out and you don't intend to. The same can be said for your counterpart. So if your spouse says something and just think, all right, they're upset right now, I'm going to let that go. And that can be really tough. But um, finally, I would say, Tanya, we tend to assume people see things from our perspective, and they don't.
Mhm.
They have their own view of how things unfolded. So be open and be curious about what did they perceive? What was their impression?
Okay. All right. We're going to continue to be talking about all things good, awkward, and otherwise when it comes to having relationships, when it comes to starting maybe a tough talk. We were taking your questions as well. Remember the numbers at the bottom of your screen, 336-379-5775, and we'll be right back.